Sean Spicer is at least the second Trump staffer to completely invent and concoct an imaginary terrorist attack completely out of thin air. You'll remember Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway, as I now refer to her. She was interviewed on MSNBC by Chris Matthews, and she cited the non-existent Bowling Green Massacre as an example of a terrorist attack committed by refugees, which of course justified the need for Trump's Muslim majority country immigration ban. Here is a reminder of Kellyanne Conway citing this non-existent terrorist attack.
I bet it's brand new information to people that President Obama had a 6-month ban on the Iraqi refugee program after 2 Iraqis came here to this country, were radicalized, and they were the masterminds behind the Bowling Green Massacre. I mean, most people don't know that because it didn't get covered.
Yeah, unfortunately, as the word imaginary suggests, there was no such massacre. There was no Bowling Green Massacre. But it is not just Kellyanne Conway. It is also Sean Spicer, Trump's press secretary, doing the exact same thing. He has repeatedly now pointed to Atlanta as a city that was attacked by some kind of foreign terrorists in order to justify the Muslim majority country immigration ban. Now, let me be super clear. There has never been a refugee, immigrant, or whatever Islamist terror attack in Atlanta, nor one perpetrated by any refugees from individuals on Donald Trump's list. Here is Sean Spicer in an appearance on ABC's This Week talking about, again, Atlanta.
I know that in some cases there's going to be a bit of an inconvenience, but the inconvenience
is there any humiliation?
No, there's 109 people that were slowed down, over 325,000 foreign visitors that came in. But what do we say to the family that loses somebody of a terrorist, to whether it's Atlanta or San Bernardino or the Boston bomber? Those people, each of whom had gone out to a country and then come back.
Wait, what? Atlanta? And then again on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Sean Spicer talking about Atlanta, saying, quote, too many of these cases that have happened, whether you're talking about San Bernardino, Atlanta, they've happened, Boston. And then again at the White House press briefing later the same day that he was on Morning Joe, Spicer pointed to Atlanta as a need for, quote, extreme vetting, saying, quote, I don't think you have to look any further than the families of the Boston Marathon in Atlanta, in San Bernardino, to ask if we can go further. There's obviously steps that we can and should be taking, and I think the president is going to continue to do what he can to make sure that this country is as safe as possible. There has not been a jihadist terror attack in Atlanta, period. It's fake. Now here, Pat, is what's more fascinating when you want to talk about undercovered and overcovered incidents of terror. There was an incident in Atlanta in 1996. A pipe bomb exploded at the Centennial Olympic Park during the Atlanta Olympic Games. The terrorist was an American-born white dude from Florida named Eric Robert Rudolph. Please, please, please don't forget what information warfare expert Molly McHugh told us yesterday. This is gaslighting. It's disinformation. Now, whether it's on purpose or not, you're planting these seeds in people's minds. And we know that the low information Trump voters are very malleable. They are now going to say, yeah, San Bernardino, Boston, Atlanta. There were lots of these attacks.
And just look at those other 2 examples, Boston and San Bernardino. In Boston, the attackers were from Chechnya, which is part of Russia.
Right.
And in San Bernardino, one of the attackers was a U.S. citizen, and they were of Pakistani descent. So neither one of those countries are on that 7 list ban, you know?
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Also another really, really good point, which is even the other ones that Sean Spicer is listing actually would not have been impacted by Trump's list at all. Widely known Russian propaganda technique, which is make people question what can they believe. I mean, Sean Spicer listed all that stuff, and Kellyanne Conway listed the Bowling Green Massacre. I guess we need the immigration ban. San Bernardino and Boston being real, but not good examples of attacks that would have been prevented by Trump's ban. Atlanta, completely fake. But in the minds of the Trumpists, they will remember what? They'll remember, oh yeah, Sean Spicer listed all that stuff, and Kellyanne Conway also had one. Discuss this on our Reddit discussion forum. Join us, davidpakman.com/Reddit, REDDIT.
Gamefly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.